How's it going, everybody? Oh, I got a good one for you today. I've been waiting to do this for a long time. Um, it's been a long time since Jason's been on the show, uh, over a year at least. And I noticed that guys like him, Rohan, Jack, everybody's been in training camp. And I wanted to hear the perspective of somebody that's actually been seeing everything that's been happening. And I put it out there, and Jason accepted awesomely. So before we get started, Jason, I wanted to just ask you real quickly. First, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Aaron. Us 49er fans and Yankee fans need to stick together. So
Absolutely.
if you're looking at, why did this happen? The Yankees are during, a little bit of a slide. The 49ers are in a perfect spot to be talking about things. So don't ever feel bad about that. I'm always going to have a soft spot for somebody who roots for the similar interests
And
of
lives
mine.
in New York, just like me.
That's right. That's it.
Little
Like
farther south, but
East
that's
Coast
all right.
brothers. It's
Absolutely.
East Coast
East Coast
brothers.
Niners fans, man.
Mhm.
One of the things I wanted to ask you before we talked anything Niners, I just wanted to ask about your recent experiences. You had going to the combine. I think you went a couple years in a row, if I am right.
No, the combine was the first time I've done the draft 2 years in a row. But the combine, this was the first time that I was able to get to the combine because if you remember, in 2020, the combine was canceled
Right. You're
to
right. You're
everybody,
right.
so there was no way to do that. But yeah, 2 years in a row at the draft and the combine. Yeah, this past year.
You're training camp this year. I just wanted to know, like, how is the experience that you've been having? How fulfilling is just being able to kind of just wrap yourself around a team that you probably grew up watching on television like me and just rooting for, and now you're actually kind of like with that arm's length, I guess, being able to kind of like see stuff, maybe rub shoulders with certain individuals and talk about them and enjoy what you're doing. Like that whole experience has got to be incredible.
Aaron, I'll be honest with you, man. You try to be like professional the entire time because you want to seem like you belong. But the kid in me and the fan in me, I have times where that comes out. I'll give you a perfect example at the combine. Brad, Jordan, Rob Shoe, we're all sitting together and we're just waiting for media to come back in. And we're just sitting there, we're like shooting the shit. I'm sorry, can I curse on here? Like
Go
shooting the
right
shit
ahead.
is okay. All right, all
It's
right.
all right.
We're shooting the shit on there, like we got our phones, and John Harbaugh walks by and he says, "What's up, guys?" And we're like, "What's up, man?" And like we all look at each other like, "Dude, did John Harbaugh just say what's up to us?" So the fan in me still takes that precedent. One more example: we're going through the metal detectors while we're trying to get ready, and Mike McDaniel is right behind me. And this is a story I haven't told anybody on camera or anything like that, so I'm going to share with you. Mike McDaniel is right behind me, and it's Jordan and I. And I say to Mike McDaniel, "Coach, can I get a second of your time real quick?" And he's like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "Hey, I'm Jason Aponte, and this is Jordan Elliott, and we cover the Niners." And he said, "First of all, thank you for being so nice to me." Little did he know that we never really had any sort of interaction or anything like that, like in the media room. And I said, "Coach, first question, favorite Mike Jones song?" Because the Mike Jones portion of like Mike, and he was like, "Hey, Clubbing featuring Paul Wall," and we got to talking and everything, and we said, "Hey, coach, we're all rooting for you over here. Like we're all still Niners fans, but we're rooting for you." That is the coolest part of this. So the kid in me, as much as we want to, act like, hey, we were at the combine, we were at the draft, that stuff never goes away. And that is the portion that I hope is like not lost upon the people that follow me and follow us and things like that. Is shit, man, we're still we're still fans. Like at the end of the day, like we're still starstruck. Like Jordan and I were joking around, like we see Matt LaFleur, he's right there, and me and Jordan are doing dodgeball references, cramming up your cram hole, LaFleur. And like he turned and looked at us and we were like, "Oh shit," like we didn't mean to like say that. So like, yeah. Um it's amazing. It's incredible to do these things, and these are things that I thought of when I was a kid. But at the same time, I don't lose sight of the kid in me who's looking at me now that I'm a little bit older. Like, man, this is really fun. Like, and that's what it should be. Is more
Yep.
than anything. It's like, yes, we're doing something. We want to be professional, but this is at the end of the day fun. And I hope that wasn't too long winded.
No, Listen, man, I've been a Niners fan since I was 10 years old. I'm 42. Um,
You don't
I
look it,
was
by the way.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, you look a good, like strong, like 28, like in my
Oh
opinion.
my lord, I've had some younger women tell me that, and
Hey,
older women too.
hey,
I was like,
hey,
hey, yeah, but
Aaron,
they're
take it.
yeah.
Keep taking it, man.
I'm well. The opportunity has to present itself, but if it does, I'll definitely jump on it. I just want to say what's up to the chat real quick. We got Raphael 562, David McNew always in the chat, Kimberly Hania always in the chat. Carcast, what's up, my man? I mean the dream. Thank you for dropping in here. I
Shout out
appreciate
to
it.
Amin, man.
Tito Joseph, he says Trey Lance will end up one of the greatest. Just watch or just watch. Okay.
Just watch. I
I
think is what he meant.
yep.
Yeah.
Pizza all day. Aponte, how did you become a Niners fan? Usually Yankee fans or Giants fans. Well,
I'll give you the shortest answer possible. My father is from the Bronx, literally like stone's throw from Yankee Stadium, that close. Yes. If you were a Yankees fan, if you were anything but a Yankees fan, you're kicked out of the house. Like, it doesn't matter. His father was a Mets fan. If I walked into my house and told my dad I'm a Red Sox fan or a Mets fan, I'd have to find foods elsewhere. So that's just the Yankee portion of it.
yep.
My dad went to Indiana University when he was about to go into the Air Force, and he went to a Notre Dame game where Joe Montana came in the second
I
half,
knew it.
and Notre Dame was losing. And guess what happened? Joe Montana led that team all the way back, and they won the game in the second half. And my dad said, whoever drafts that young man will be the team that I root for. And there's pictures of me during the Cincinnati Bengals Super Bowls
Awesome.
wearing a long jersey. So my father is the reason that I'm a 49ers fan. Even if he decided to go back to the Giants, he'll always tell me, I gave you this. I was, and it's true. It's absolutely true. So yeah, my dad was the reason that I became a 49ers fan in that way.
I became a Niners fan in the late 80s. My mom's from Sicily. She was born in Sicily. She has a third cousin, second cousin, and he's my third cousin. He's like 35 years older than me, 32 years older than me, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Montana in the offseason would go to Sicily or wherever he was staying. And my cousin was kind of like can't say like a big shot. He worked for the television studio. He did certain things with like famous people when they come into town. He would like take them out to places, go to dinner with them. That was part of his job. He was some sort of, I don't know exactly what he did for a living, to be honest with you. He met Joe Montana and Jennifer Montana, and he was saying in Italian, Bella Bella, she's beautiful, beautiful woman, Jennifer. And at that time, I was trying to get into football, and I'm like, who's my third cousin from Sicily talking about? So I started doing some investigating. And right around that time, the Niners are really good. So that's kind of how I got into them because of family. It was a really weird story. And then, of course, we watched the Bengals Super Bowl. Then we watched us, smash Denver. And then it just became like 49ers all the time. I remember my freshman year in high school in 94, 95, the year we beat.
Holy shit, you were a freshman? And when they won the ball the last time?
Yeah, okay. I was a freshman in high school. I remember there was I had a Giants fan and a Cowboys fan in my earth science class. And every time I would see them that year, I would just rub it in so hard.
Oh yeah,
especially the Cowboys fan, and we're all still cool with each other now.
And we live in Giants country too, so like don't forget about them.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I can't believe how long I've been a 49ers fan, how much I remember too. I have a pretty good memory for a guy who's coming up on 43.
Hey, and I want to say you don't look anywhere near 43. Your memory is as good as an elephant. And
elephants don't forget shit.
Elephants don't forget anything, right? Exactly. And I remember when the Niners won their last championship.
Me too.
I remember the place, the time.
Yep.
But Aaron, like how I know, we need that adult championship.
Yes, we do.
We need that adult championship where when the game's over, I can run through the streets.
Yes.
Hey, you're drunk. Cool, doesn't matter. Don't check me. It doesn't matter. But yes, but it's good to remember those things because that's what makes the chase for six. I'm not gonna say quest for six anymore. That's
that's
done.
kind of a beaten. That's
I
over
hate
with.
it. I hate it.
So dumb.
That's what makes the chase for six and whatever it is, the road to six, whatever it is, it makes it so impactful for many fans like ourselves. There's plenty of fans that remember all of those championships. I'll be honest with you, man. I was 11 when the Niners won in 94, 95. I don't remember Joe. I don't. I
You don't
don't
remember
remember
Joe?
Joe. I don't remember Joe at all. I don't, man. My memory doesn't go
I
that
remember
far
the
back.
tail end of his career.
Right. Like I remember him playing his last game. And I remember my dad being upset that they were going to this young, mobile quarterback who didn't sit in the pocket.
I didn't
Funny
like
how
I didn't
things
like
work out.
Steve Young for a long
So
time.
of course you didn't. But funny how things work out, right? Like funny how things work. I remember my dad being upset about all of those things. And it's funny how things like come full circle. And here we are again with our new quarterback, right? Like funny how like I always tell my dad this the same thing. I remember you. I don't want to root for the 49ers anymore. I can't. How can they move on from Montana? How can they move on from this guy for some unproven mobile quarterback? Isn't it so funny?
You
How
know,
things
we're kind of
happen, Aaron?
coming full circle.
Oh
I
wow! Look up everything is time is a flat circle. True Detective season 1. That is literally what is going on, like literally right now. In terms of the difference is Joe's the GOAT. Jimmy Garoppolo was a guy who, yeah, exactly.
Thank you,
Exactly,
Sentinel.
Sensei.
Hello, by the way,
Thank you.
Sentinel. Thank you for popping in here.
Jimmy,
Same to you,
Jimmy,
Brian Culp.
Jimmy ain't Joe, but what we're talking
No.
about is in some eyes the same exact thing. That's it. So yeah.
Montana did get hurt a lot towards the
He
second
did.
half of his career. That was kind of his
Damn New York
downfall.
Giants. Damn New York
I know,
Giants.
twice.
Right.
My nephew was a baby. He was born the year we won the last one, but he was born on the back half of the year. He was born in the summer of '95. So the summer going into what would have been our defense of our 5th championship. My sister used to dress him in a Niners little jumper, and I didn't know, and I didn't think he was going to be a 49ers fan girl. My brother says I brainwashed him, but I was close to him and he was close to me. I was always kind of like the cool uncle. I just had that kind of personality for kids gravitate for some reason. I don't know. And he just became a 49ers fan. I remember he's 27 now. He's almost 30. I've sat through both losses with him, man. I feel for him because he's never experienced the jubilation.
So this is a controversial statement. And I know you want to get to like actual, like, close to 49ers talk, but the younger 49er fans are the toughest fans. Let me explain. The people that have seen the glory days have seen at least the glory days. But there's the younger 49er fans who have watched, right, exactly, have watched the NFC Championship game, Kyle Williams, have watched the Seahawks game, have watched the Ravens Super Bowl, have watched the Chiefs Super Bowl, have watched the NFC Championship game against the Rams. These newer 49er fans, they know nothing but pain.
Yes.
And look, and Aaron, you're a Yankee fan, right? This is how I'm going to pose it to you. I don't give a shit about 22 other championships while I've been alive. None of that makes me feel better. What I've seen is 5 championships as a Yankee fan. Five, right?
I lived through some of the greatest times growing up. Okay, I was a 100%. Bulls fan growing up. I love Jordan. Wow.
So you want everything.
I want it all because I've experienced greatness and I've seen it from different sports, whether it's Michael Jordan, whether it's Jeter, whether it's Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, Steve Young. I mean, dude, I'm spoiled. These young cats, young guys and gals, they've never experienced any of that. And I feel for them. Right. They have a lot of great players like a Willis and a Bowman and this guy and that guy and a Gore.
But they didn't win bowls, though.
None of them win bowls.
Guys. Right. So my thing is this. If someone came down and there was like a genie, right? Like, and you're younger, right? And they tell you, Your favorite sports team is going to win 5 championships during your lifetime, but you're going to get them when you're this young. You'll take that because how many teams can win that long, right?
It's tough.
Again, younger fans are the toughest of the 49er fans. I'm tired of people.
Brian Culp is one of those guys.
Yeah, and Bryant knows. Bryant's seen, I think he's seen at least that one championship.
Yep.
But the younger fans, they're the ones who have had to sit through absolute misery. Like, look, my father who gave me game with the 49ers with Joe Montana. The 49ers, I was in Miami for the 2019 Bowl, and I don't want to make this depressing, guys. Like we're here to talk about like what's the future. The game ends and the 49ers lose, and he sends me a text, "Are you okay?" And I said,
a lot
Dad,
of people sent me that text too.
Right. And I said, "Dad, I'm okay." And then my dad said, "You need to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo immediately."
Look, I think that was like a consensus with a lot of people.
But look, again, my father is not the end all be all when it comes to, 49ers stuff, any of that stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? But I went to the NFC title game this past year. I was there in LA. I was there. And I moved down all the way to like the field seats. I had a hookup. We moved down to the field seats. Jimmy Garoppolo threw that touchdown to George Kittle. And I put the game up. And I remember recording a video on my phone, and I was hype. And whatever. We all know how the game played out. And I'm walking out of the stadium. My father sends me another text. "Are you okay?" And I said, I'm good, Dad. I'm going, back to my Airbnb. And he said, "Jimmy Garoppolo needs to go, man." And it's just funny how that works with a guy like that. So, yeah. Again, 49ers game is passed down to from my father. Yeah. No, look. Hey, man. But look,
I had to laugh
at the same time, the Rams won their bowl.
They did. Props
Shout
to
out
them.
to them. Salute to them, man. Like, I'm not going to blame one person or the other. It took a team to win that game. It took a team to lose that game. One team won. One team didn't. So, go for it.
Beto, Niner Sickness has actually been to all 5 wins.
Wow.
He's seen all 5 wins.
So he didn't go to New Orleans and he didn't go to Miami. I blame him.
Yeah, it's Beto's fault. We're gonna boycott now.
That's it, man. I'm about to hit him up. I did his show too. I'm gonna hit him up and be like, "Bro, it's your fault, bro.
Like, your fault. Yeah, we gotta blame somebody. Somebody's got to take the free. Someone's got to pay the freight on that one.
Not the players, not the coach, not us as fans. You. That's you.
I guess I'll talk about what you're kind of looking forward to this Friday. I know I'm more or less just wanting to get out of the game healthy. I really want to see a little bit of Trey and then nothing. The preseason to me is just an obstacle, but with Trey, you kind of have to go through it because you want to get him some reps. What are you looking forward to? Any position battles, people you're watching, or are you of the mindset of me? You just want to get through it and get to the regular season?
First of all, I see Rohan in here in the chat.
Oh, I see him. Oh man, I love him. He's great too.
Hey man, biggest riser of camp, man. Shout out to Rohan, man.
Hell yeah.
I mean, as a kid, I wish I had the drive that this kid had, man.
Like a walking encyclopedia, man. It's amazing.
Shout out to him, man. And continue to do what you're doing, man. Like, it took me 36 years to figure out how to do all of this stuff, man.
It took me 39, so
so you're already on the right direction, man.
4 freaking decades, man. It took me to figure out this.
I just want to make sure that he's shouted out, man. He's done a great job, man.
Everybody, if you do your best to go find Rohan Chakravarthi's channel and subscribe.
Yep.
He's amazing. He's articulate. He's calm, which is some of us, I can't say for myself, who are not. Us New Yorkers, I have that New Yorkers mentality. So like I get pissed off. I start being really complaining about everything and be like, this guy sucks.
Me too. I mean, that's why they call me spicy. Like they like that. Like they
I love it.
Catch me out of pocket. You catch me out of pocket after practices, things like that, man. Hey man, Rohan's a good dude, man.
Yes,
It was
he
nice
is.
to meet you, man. And I appreciate all of the work that you're putting in, man. Make sure that you tapped in with this guy, man. He is going places, man. Shout out to him.
Shout out
The
for
the
sure. I
the
got to
New
say hi
York.
to my guy Kelts too, real quick. What
Oh,
up,
Kels
buddy?
too, man. For sure, man. For me, the New York in me gets a hold of me too much, and then like I'll watch back a stream and I'll just be like, dude, you like even me, I'll be like, you need to chill out, man. Like you like you're doing too much, right? So too early to buy a Lance jersey, the great atmosphere jersey it is. No, Lance is gonna be here for a while, regardless of what happens, I think. So it wouldn't be too early to buy that, I think, at this point.
Thank you, by the way, Frank Tom Ocean, for the $5 super. It's up to you, man. It's your purchase. I don't buy quarterback jerseys. I made that mistake, unfortunately, with Kaepernick. I'm no hate on Kaepernick. I jumped the gun too quickly, and that didn't work out. So
I got a cap and Jimmy jersey. So don't
my nephew's got a Jimmy jersey.
hey, look, man. Look.
I don't know why he bought it. He didn't like Jimmy. He bought it for some strange reason. I don't know.
No, but we're gonna talk the future. But before we get into that, and I know you asked me a question before, and I want you to reiterate it because I just lost it. But
just looking into the preseason, like what things you're kind of and how much of Lance do you want to see? Like I just want to see enough of him, and then that's it.
I want to thank Jimmy Garoppolo.
True.
For his contributions, guys. Like, I think that a lot of the excitement around Trey Lance has been confused with Jimmy Garoppolo hate. And I think that that's wrong and it's misguided. Jimmy Garoppolo brought life to this franchise when there was no life. Brian Hoyer was the quarterback.
People forget that.
You guys were going through the motions. Everybody was. It's very edgy and regular now to dump on Jimmy Garoppolo. But Jimmy Garoppolo is better than many quarterbacks that are starting in this league right now. Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill. I would stamp my flag on that. I would. So I don't want this Trey Lance love to overshadow what Jimmy Garoppolo brought to this franchise.
Right.
And a lot of people look at me because they're like, well, you said Trey should start. I said Trey should start last year because I wanted to kick off the development process.
Yes.
I wasn't talking about winning a bowl, and that's why I'm a guy who is talking behind some Batman shit. And Kyle Shanahan is the guy who makes the decisions because under Jimmy Garoppolo, they made the NFC Championship game. What more could you have asked from this team, especially after they lost that Arizona Cardinals game to Colt McCoy? So, again, I have opinions. That's fine. But they're not end-all, be-all. And Kyle knows best. I think that this past year shows you that Kyle knows best. And now that it's turned to completely to Lance, I just don't want to continuously shit on Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think that that's disrespectful to what Jimmy Garoppolo brought to this team and what Jimmy Garoppolo did for this team and what Jimmy Garoppolo is in this league, which is a starting quarterback. And that's valuable. Jimmy Garoppolo is better than 17 quarterbacks in this league right now. Right now. Just because he doesn't have a spot on another team doesn't change that fact. If the New York Giants want to roll with Daniel Jones, that's because they want to see what Daniel Jones has. That doesn't mean he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Zach Wilson, Justin Fields right now at this point. But that shouldn't be lost when it comes to what we're talking about in terms of development. Shout out to Mariah.
Hi, Mariah. Hello, 49ers.
But yeah, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that like people understand. While we wanted an upgrade, that doesn't downplay what Jimmy Garoppolo is.
Right.
And I don't want to be labeled as this Jimmy Garoppolo hater. I have contacts with Jimmy. I was at camp last year with Jimmy. He was good. He was fine. Like there was times where he made mistakes, he threw interceptions, but every quarterback is like that. And I wanted Trey to start last year. I was wrong. You know why I was wrong? They made the NFC Championship.
Right.
That's with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I fought that last year. I fought myself with that because I wanted him to start too, Trey. And then I kept saying, like, when I do live streams, like, listen, people, you know how I feel about Trey. I'm not the biggest Jimmy supporter. I won't say he sucks. I just know how hater alert.
Hater alert. Hey.
Know how far we can get with him. But he, at that point last year during the season, he was the best choice over Trey. Not saying long term, but at that point during the season, he was the best choice to play. So, and the fact that we got to the NFC Championship game, whether he supposedly got carried or not, that's who cares at this point? So
but at this point, look, all right, look. There's been elite quarterbacks who haven't won shit.
Yep.
There's been mid quarterbacks who have won bowls. There's been lower tier quarterbacks who have won bowls.
Trent Dilfer.
Aaron Rodgers did a podcast where he talked about where they asked him, on part of my take, the 49ers have beaten you 4 times. And he was like, oh, well, they haven't won a Super Bowl 17 years. You haven't beaten Colin Kaepernick or Jimmy Garoppolo. You think we care at this point? Like, 49er fans, you could look at it and say, if they had Aaron Rodgers, they probably would have won a bowl. Cool. Maybe. But what I know is you against us every time is an L.
With a subpar quarterback.
Right. And I could tell that that's bothering you. So the last divisional game that Aaron Rodgers played against Jimmy Garoppolo, I had a discussion with Grant about this on his show.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about how Jimmy didn't lift his team, but he threw for more yards in the fourth quarter than the guy who is clearly better than him, right? So when do we start to look at Aaron Rodgers and say, you're not that guy, pal. You aren't that guy. And don't tell me that it was because he didn't have weapons. You're that guy, right? Like, you're that guy, right? Yes, the 49ers defense is elite. And that's what has me safe about Trey.
Yes.
But don't tell me you're that guy and you scored 10 points in your own stadium. And the 49ers didn't score an offensive touchdown and beat you.
Still.
How? That's on you, Aaron Rodgers.
The L, dog, 4 times.
That's my point.
When you're the better quarterback every single time.
Elite quarterbacks get it done. And
they do.
We consider and many people consider you elite. What happened?
He is really, 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 really good. But he comes up small when it matters, other than that one Super Bowl. Yeah, MVP. I'm not a big fan of his as a person, Aaron Rodgers. I think he's kind of a douche canoe, but that's just me.
That's fine.
I don't like him.
But if he was like that and the Niners won bowls, I'm good with that.
I wouldn't care.
Of course. 100%.
I wouldn't care. I'm just being honest. Like, if I like as a person, I'm like, he leaves more to be desired. But if somebody said tomorrow, we're gonna go back 8 years in the past, give you him, and we'll see what I'd be absolutely. But that's just because we're so starved of a championship, and it's been
if you paired Aaron Rodgers with that team, and here's the thing about hypotheticals. Aaron Rodgers starts out his career. He's got 7 different, offensive coordinators.
He probably would have been the same yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know how he would have reacted. It's easy to look back, and revisionist history is the easiest thing to do. oh shit, you drafted, Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers. Cool. But come on, man. Like, we don't know, like, what would have happened at that point. And when Aaron Rodgers brazenly said, not as disappointed as the 49ers would be that they didn't draft me, 4-0, little bro.
Right.
And you're on a podcast talking about how those losses hurt you more than anything. Like, we don't know what would have happened. Stop taking the psychedelics.
Right.
And start getting into your playbook, because now the Green Bay Packers, who are somehow ahead of the 49ers,
Don't get me started on that.
Devontae Adams is gone, little bro. Alan Lazard is your number one receiver. Christian Watson, who every 49er fan loved, hasn't taken one rep at camp. What are we doing here? Like,
he hasn't taken one rep?
No, he's on pup. Why are we necessarily worried?
We dodged a bullet on that one.
Well, all right.
We'll see.
Look, Aaron, real quick. Christian Watson was low on my board.
Okay.
This past year. 49er fans like the Lance to Watson comparison because they like the Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase comparison.
Definitely.
That's not apples to apples in any way, man. Like, at all. You are watching LSU guys link up as opposed to FSC guys line up. That's different. It's completely different. Completely different. We watched him at the Senior Bowl. He popped off a little bit. He had an amazing combine. Like, I watched him from Senior Bowl. I was there, combine. That wasn't the guy I wanted. It really wasn't. I had my wide receiver. He was my wide receiver 9. But my wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 was Williams. It was Olave. It was Wilson. Those are my 3 guys. 4 was Sky Moore, who landed with the Kansas City Chiefs. And wouldn't you know it, Sky Moore is cooking right now in Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, but it matters, like, where those guys land. It's just Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of credit for being an amazing regular season quarterback. Regular season. Back-to-back MVPs. No one's going to dispute that he should have been the MVP these last 2 years. All right, well, now Devontae Adams ain't there. Show me. One more time. Show me one more time. I think you're discounting how good Devontae Adams is.
Watching games with him sometimes. That's all he went to. I watch a ton of Packers games.
Look. All right, hold on. See this book? This one? It's a Bobby Peters book of the offensive manual of the Green Bay Packers. You know why I bought this? Because I wanted to see how much different LaFleur's offense is to Kyle Shanahan. Every single number 1 target on any sort of route that is in this book is Devontae Adams. How, like, everyone, it doesn't matter. He lines up in the slot, outside right, outside left, doesn't matter. They allowed Aaron Rodgers to have that freedom to say, Devontae Adams is open here, Devontae Adams is here, I'm going to look at him first. Now, Devontae Adams ain't there no more.
Nope.
Let's see you, bro, now. Let's see you now. Let's see you. Are you going to throw to Sammy Watkins? Are you going to throw to Alan Lazard? Are you going to throw to Randall Cobb? It's up to you now, little bro. Like that's my thing. It's like he's so arrogant that now whatever it is that he wanted in terms of money, Devontae Adams even said, I don't want to be there anymore. And Devontae Adams is getting a downgrade in quarterback. I don't care how much like he's linked up with Derek Carr. That's a downgrade. Don't tell me that shit is an upgrade at all.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
That's a downgrade at this point. You wanted to get away from that guy. It speaks more to Aaron Rodgers than it does anybody else.
Yeah, he's a great quarterback. He's probably a Hall of Fame level quarterback, I would assume. Getting close. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know, that ship has sailed. The Niners are never going to make a move on him. The Niners are all in on Lance.
It's done.
Speaking of Trey Lance, um, dude, Twitter blew up the last couple days with this camp struggles. All my favorite people were arguing. I love all you guys, but some of them were arguing, and I wanted to know what you thought. Are you concerned? Are you kind of getting what you were expecting? Where do you kind of fall in the Trey Lance kind of? He's been struggling. He's had some good days. He's had some bad days. I personally, we say we're ready for what Trey Lance is going to be, and we're going to go through all the ups and downs. A lot of us say that, but not a lot of us mean it. I pretty much am getting from Trey what I kind of expected. What about you?
Aaron, I think you nailed it. Everyone agreed bumps and bruises would happen. And the bumps and bruises happen in camp. And people all of a sudden act shocked.
Right.
And it's insane to me.
It's super
really
insane.
is. What I expected from Trey Lance was these sort of ups and downs. You cannot enjoy the practice that he just had, aside from this one, where he tore everything up, without the downs. And 49er fans, I think, were okay with sitting there with the ups and downs, or the downs, because the ups are higher than they've seen in a long time. The ups are what you saw in this practice for anybody that was there. 45-yard run, deep passes to Ayuk, who is the offensive MVP easily.
I can't wait.
Oh my goodness. Like Brandon Ayuk is about to dominate everyone, like with Trey Lance under center.
Oh, it's going to be great.
But my question to 49er fans is, if you are ready for the ups and downs, why do any sort of negative reports send you in a tizzy? Yeah. Right? Like that's my question. Wait till you see what happens in a game where Trey Lance isn't necessarily good, right? Against a good, you know what, Aaron? I'll make a bold prediction on your show.
Okay.
The 49ers play the Chicago Bears first. I think they're fine. They'll win that game. They play the Seattle Seahawks at home. I don't care who's the quarterback. I think they'll be fine. Week 3 in Denver, on the national spotlight, is when we're going to figure out who's really down with the Trey Lance movement.
Agreed.
And how much they are just like riding the wave. The Denver Broncos are absolutely loaded on defense. Loaded. This seems like a situation that is set up for Trey Lance to fail, right? I'm not sitting here telling you that it's an automatic loss, but if Trey Lance doesn't play well in this game against a top-tier defense, you shouldn't lose your mind.
Right.
And the Josh Allen thing has been thrown around. I don't like the comparison to his skill set with Josh Allen, but what I will use from that comparison is this. The Buffalo Bills and their front office sat there for 2 years, and they made the playoffs one of those years, the second year. They sat there and they watched Josh Allen literally with passes that were a 5-yard throw, and he would throw that shit into the stands, Aaron. You know that. You know that for a fact.
I live in Bills country. I'm in Rochester, New York, man. Bills training camp is right near my job.
Right. So you know that happened.
Yeah.
But you don't get to bear the fruits of that labor without sitting through those things.
Look at that man last year in that playoff game against the Chiefs, bro.
He's an MVP candidate.
That's some of the best football I've ever seen in my life. Offensively, defensively, both those teams were trash, but
right.
But maybe the quarterbacks are just really, really good too. You know what I mean?
At the same time, Aaron, I don't want to imply that Trey Lance will be Josh Allen.
Right.
What I am telling you is, what if the Buffalo Bills, after 1 year or a few games, said, you know what? We're done with this. I can't. The patience is what you need to have. And that's what I will correlate to Josh Allen. I'm not correlating. Josh Allen's the exception to the absolute rule. He is
Mm-hmm.
the exception. He is the like up top of the guy who is like super raw, all that stuff. Like he's the exception to the rule. Trey Lance doesn't have to be Josh Allen for this team to win a Super Bowl. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. He doesn't need to be the Josh Allen of this team for them to win a Super Bowl. You know what he has to be? Steady, not turn the ball over.
That's right.
And on certain downs, when Kyle Shanahan calls the right play and the line runs through, he needs to make plays outside of that because he's never had a quarterback under this system that can do that. So when I tell you expectations for Trey Lance, he doesn't need to be Josh Allen. He needs to just be a little bit more than Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's it.
And that's it.
We babysat. Listen, man, you were very, very nice in your things you said about Jimmy, but we got to admit, we babysat him, man. Sometimes there were times where Kyle would pull the reins completely back because Jimmy would start, chucking and ducking to the other team, and he'd be like, "All right, just going to depend on the run game. Not going to really throw the ball." I mean, look at the Minnesota playoff game. Look at the playoffs in general in the 2019 season. And when we needed him in the Super Bowl, he didn't show up. So, like, at least in the fourth quarter, that's what I'll say.
Aaron, what I'll say is this: he doesn't need to be an elite quarterback for this team to succeed because of the roster, because of the coaching.
I agree.
And that's the best part about Trey Lance. If Trey Lance becomes Josh Allen, God help every one of you. God help every single one of you.
This league is screwed.
You have no shot at anything. If Trey Lance becomes Josh Allen,
we'll win a three-peat.
We're gonna be on like talking about quest for 9. Literally.
Quest for 11.
But if he is just a little bit better than Jimmy, just a little bit in terms of when you need a play, when the offensive line isn't blocking well, if he's just that much more, then we're talking about Bowl 6. And then we can go from there. But if he becomes Josh Allen, God help all of you. God help every single one of you. I promise.
Yeah, this league would be very much in trouble. Corey Davis with a $5 super chat. He says, who's going to be the 49ers 4 running backs this year? I'll give you a real quick. My 4 are Elijah Mitchell.
Yep.
Trey Sermon.
Yep.
TDP.
Yep.
And what's his name? Undrafted free agent, Jordan Mason.
All right.
You're going to tell me no.
No. I don't want to tell you no.
It's okay.
Jordan Mason. No. Aaron, Jordan Mason has been the best every single day running back in training camp. That's not even a question. Like it shouldn't be up for debate. Elijah Mitchell, 1. Trey Sermon, who's coming along, 2. Jeff Wilson, yes, they love him. He's not going anywhere.
Really?
Jermichael Hicks, yeah, okay. No, he's not going anywhere. Jeff Wilson's not going anywhere.
He's one of my favorite guys. I've been kind of down on him the last year.
No. He's completely picked it up. And remember, Kyle loves his guys.
Yes, he does.
He's always going to give him a shot. So Jeff Wilson's making his team. It comes down, and TDP's making it. So that's 4. It comes down to Jermichael Hasty and Jordan Mason. If you want my opinion from what I've seen from camp, Jordan Mason has outperformed Jermichael Hasty a ton. But what I will say about Jermichael Hasty is this. One-on-ones, Fred Warner tried to guard him. Dre Greenlaw tried to guard him. Anybody who you want in front of him try to guard him. He's great on one-on-ones, passing downs. And again, it boils down to not what I want, but what Kyle wants. Jordan Mason, every single day that I was there, has either made a catch or had a big run that I said, we looked at each other. I looked at Brad. I'm like, who is that? And they're like, 41, Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason. So I want Jordan Mason to make this team. But if they cut Jordan Mason, someone else will absolutely grab him. He's been that good. He has been that good. Because he doesn't have draft capital behind him, they're going to make a decision based on draft capital at this point.
Hopefully the Niners can, if they do decide to move on from him, can move him right to that practice squad or whatever.
But they can't protect him. Someone will pick him up.
Right.
You know who will?
Hope.
Seattle.
Miami. Or Miami. Seattle, you think so? Of course.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle picks up. Seattle is sitting behind the tree right now, just waiting for who the 49ers cut. And they're just waiting to, like, scoop them up and just pick them up, man. Like, that's how Seattle has done their business before. But I feel, and this is not hyperbole, this roster is so loaded that there are guys who are contributors that won't make this team, not because they're not good, but because it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's an absolute numbers game, man. And that's it. Like, if a
good
guy
problem
gets cut,
to have, bro.
It is. But at the same time, Seattle's like, let them have that problem, and we'll just pick up whoever it is at this point. Like, the 49ers are loaded, man. They are. And I'm not being a fan when I say that. When I watch people practice, there's guys that are not going to get any sort of reps with the 49ers that will eat on other teams. Like,
right.
They will, man. Like, and it's just how it is. And that's how good. It's a testament to this front office. You want to talk about them missing on draft picks? You have to also, on the other side, give them credit for who they've been able to pick up off the scrap heap or off of undrafted free agency, because they've been that good. Daniel Brunskill gave them 2 years at right guard, and he was in the USFL or something like that, or the AAF. Like, you have to be able to say, hey, they missed on Jalen Hurd. That's cool. But look who Emmanuel Mosley's about to get paid. Aziz Al-Shaair's a baller. They put a second-round tender on him. Like those are the things that people lose with this front office, and that's why this roster is so. And
I've been quick to jump on them sometimes too, and then I look at this roster now, like this year, and I'm like, you know what, man?
Who do you cut?
We have depth at so many positions. At one position, I think that we have kind of a question of depth, and it'll be my next topic to you. But I'll just say that the depth at this team in many places is really, really good. The one place I'll say where I was watching your show with Brad, and the question
wide receiver.
Yes, that was my next one.
Yes.
I'm not worried. You were at camp. You saw it. I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, there's Debo, there's Ayuk, and then Jennings had a bad camp from what the reports are saying. He's not exactly a blazer anyways. He's kind of a slow, plodding kind of big man. Like, who do we got after those guys? I mean, Danny Gray's raw. I mean, there was reports that Kyle likes to get on young receivers when they screw up because it's a teaching point. You know, he wants to. He goes. They drive him crazy because of things they do. Whoa. There's a lot of question marks after these two guys. I mean, how do you feel about that situation? Because I kind of picked up on what you guys are saying, and then I had to leave the stream. How do you feel about that whole situation?
If Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk have to miss games together, it's a problem.
Right.
And I want to express this by saying if many teams lost their number one and number two guys, they'd have problems.
Exactly.
But Deebo Samuel played many games last year, missed a game. Brandon Ayuk played many games, missed a game. This is what we're talking about at this point, right? We don't know what is going to happen with this team in terms of wins, losses. One win can push them into the playoffs, or you could be playing in week 18 for your life, right? This is my thing. Jawan Jennings has had problems with drops and separation. Danny Gray has had problems with man and beating press coverage. But he's also had moments where he's been down the field by himself, wide open, and they throw him the ball and he gets it. Kyle Shanahan is going to have to figure out ways to get Danny Gray in motion against a linebacker where he's moving and he just gets him out of the way. That's fine. For me, the most disappointing part of this camp has been Jawan Jennings for some reason, because we all felt he's a third down guy, moves the chains. Kendrick Bourne,
He's
bigger
big.
Kendrick Bourne.
He's big.
Right?
He's something we don't got at receiver as far as height.
A bigger Kendrick Bourne. Right? Like a guy who catches everything on third down or in the red zone. I like that. That's good. But what if that guy doesn't take that next step?
Yeah.
What if there's a game where Ray McLeod, Danny Gray, and Jawan Jennings have to start because of those guys? I'm not talking down on the camp that Ray McLeod's had, because I think he's had a good camp. He really has, with many quarterbacks, not just Trey. So that alone shows me a little bit more than what is implied. But yeah, I banged the table for Julio Jones. And people were looking at me like, well, Julio's washed. We don't need him. We've got Jawan Jennings. Okay, bro. Like, I feel you on Jawan Jennings, and I feel you on the steps that you want to take with him. But if Julio Jones is in a role where he gets limited reps and becomes a guy that you use in the red zone, that Kyle knows operates the offense, that was always my thing. So if I have a question mark on any part of this team, and I know a lot of people like to throw out offensive line, that's fine.
Right.
You know, you can have your question marks on that. Probably have my question mark on what is it going to be like after Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel at this point. And that's always been my problem the entire offseason. I wanted Julio Jones because everybody implied Jawan Jennings is going to take the next step. Well, I've been to camp. He's not taking the next step right now. He's just not. Oh, we got Danny Gray. He's fast. You know what? He can't beat man press right now. Oh, we got Ray McLeod. Okay, Ray McLeod is a guy who is being used in a Deebo slot when Deebo wasn't there. You can't look at these guys like mainstays and things like that.
Right.
Julio Jones didn't want a ton of money. What he was signed for is nothing. All you had to do was get rid of one contract. You would have been able to sign him and just like add him to the team, and he would have been fine.
Geez, I wonder what contract that is.
It's Jeff Wilson. I'm just joking. But my thing is, I understand you want guys to grow. You want to build from within. But at what point? You all laugh at the Rams, right? No OBJ. You all laugh at the Rams, right? Oh, they signed Odell Beckham. They won a bowl.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
I was down on them for what they were doing, and then I kind of like, okay, so like after the NFC Championship game, I had kind of a whiny ass post game where I was like giving them props, but I was like taking shots for them for buying their team.
But
I came out of that though, and I realized that there's more than one way to skin a cat, and they did it a different way, and it worked for them. So
that's the thing is. There's people who build homegrown talent like the 49ers. The 49ers have the best linebacker in the league, the best tight end in the league. They have the best offensive weapon in the league. They have the best edge rusher in the league. They got the best left tackle. That wasn't homegrown. They picked them up, though. Like, again, when you said there's different ways to skin a cat, that's absolutely true. And what I think is lost with the Rams is, sure, you bought your team, but they hit on rounds 3 to 5.
Yes.
So what I mean by that is those guys don't need to be Pro Bowlers. They just need to be contributors. right? Because you're top heavy. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, all those guys, they're good. Like, don't do anything with them. But again, for everybody who tells you the draft is a crapshoot, oh, well, when the 49ers miss on a pick, well, it's a crapshoot. The Rams take away that risk by betting on known commodities. And is that an issue? Like, I don't see how that's an issue. For everybody who says, well, I'd rather have the first round pick. You'll have your first round pick, but what if that first round pick becomes Solomon Thomas?
Yeah.
Or
Reuben,
like
Reuben Foster.
Like, right, or Reuben Foster. Like, again, take the crapshoot out of it. And that's what makes the draft process so fun. That's why we all get to like fall in love with our players.
Yeah.
But the Rams have mitigated that risk by saying, we're trading first rounders for Jalen Ramsey. And Jalen Ramsey is one of the best corners in the league.
Yeah.
We're trading that second round or third round pick for Von Miller. And Von Miller ends up being a contributor. We're trading this for Odell Beckham. And Odell Beckham ends up having 100 yards in the NFC Championship game, almost 100 yards on pace in the Super Bowl game. So again, don't knock the Rams for the way that they built their roster in the same way that you are lauding the 49ers for building with homegrown talent.
Exactly.
The best way I could put it.
I totally agree. And I had to come around to that because I was jealous. The Rams did what they did and they won, and we haven't won since I was 14. So, you know, I got a little hot after. I had a lot of Rams fans saying, you know, this take didn't age well or this, that. I'm like, listen, every time somebody commented on that old video, I'm like, I've changed my way of thinking. You guys deserve it. So it took me a while, but I came around to it. Real quick on switching from receiver to secondary, Mosley and Ward both nicked up. Are you overly concerned, or are these overly huge precautions, and they're just going to kind of sit these guys till the season starts?
No, Aaron. Charvarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, Jimmy Ward, Fred Warner, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw. Get them to week 1. Yes. I don't care. Like
I don't either.
Meaningless reps,
especially when you know they're starters. Like, there's no question about it.
Right. I don't care. All right. So look, let me add on to this list: Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle.
Yeah.
I don't care. Trent Williams. I don't care. Mike McGlinchey. I don't care.
Get them all. Don't sit them all.
I don't care, man. Put them all in bubble wrap. Don't let them practice a day. I don't care.
That's what the Rams do, and they get to the regular season healthy.
You know who needs reps? You know who needs reps?
Trey.
That's it.
That's it.
That is it, man. That is it. Trey Lance needs to get reps. And I understand, oh, well, if you're sitting Trent, you're sitting Mike McGlinchey. He needs to just feel the speed of the game at this point. I don't want to see any of these guys in any sort of practice or any sort of preseason game. Especially, the 49ers played 3 preseason games in 12 days.
Yeah.
Who invented this schedule?
So dumb.
And they have 17 days off before the regular season. Cool. You got your preseason games out the way. But for me, get this roster to week 1, man. Yep. Get them to week 1. That's it. Get them to week 1, and they beat the Chicago Bears just by showing up.
Yeah.
That's it, man. All they got to do is show up. That's it. Coaching's better. Team is better. Roster's better. That's it. Show up. Week 2, if Geno Smith, I don't give a shit. If it's Geno Smith, Drew Lock, you're better than the Seahawks.
Right.
Go whip their ass.
Right.
The season doesn't start until week 3.
Exactly.
Monday Night Football, whatever it is, Sunday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. That's when the season starts. Week 1 and 2, I expect you to come out of that 2-0. Based on your roster, based on your coaching. That's it. Trey Lance doesn't have to do
the check
anything.
marks are in every position group, everything. Like if you had to put a side by side, the Niners win every single one of those.
Done and done. I don't want to hear about. I don't care. Emmanuel Mosley doesn't have to practice another day. You know what he did in camp? Clamped everyone. You know what Ward did every day in camp?
Clamped
everyone. I don't care. I know what Trent is. He's the best in the world. I know what Mike is. He's going to be fine. I know what Fred is. Fred's the best linebacker in the world.
Yep.
Bosa's been killing everyone. Get everybody to week 1. Find a way to do it. And please stop practicing these guys. Please, man. I like Kyle Shanahan. I know you're watching because you watch all of our podcasts.
You watch all of our channels.
Please stop. Please stop. Like, we got it, man. We get it, man. Like,
Kyle even said it, though. He said he'd rather not have any preseason. He said he'd rather just do the scrimmages.
And it's 3-12. There's going to be, you're going to see a little bit of Trey on Friday. You'll see whoever it is that's going to be out there. You're not going to see anybody against Minnesota. Your biggest clue into where this team will be are the joint practices.
Yep.
Those are going to be exactly where you see where this team is. That dress rehearsal, whatever it is, week 3, they probably won't play anybody and get them ready for week 1. That's it.
All matters,
I'm good
man.
with that. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm with the injuries that this team has had over the years. I'm so done with meaningless games. There's just no. I get worried because it's been such a bugaboo for so long, and for like one time, just for once, I like to see what this team can do with a stacked deck, with no questions. So, pass rush standouts in camp that have surprised you. I heard some reports about Kamiko Trey, that he was killing it today. How is the pass rush other than Bosa look to you in camp?
I can't imply to anything that I didn't see, but to the people that I trust, Jordan, Brad, Kamiko looked really good today. Oh, what's your all right, yeah, real quick, if you want to show it. It's a Jersey artist, and it's not Nate Sudfeld propaganda either. But
it's not Nate Sudfeld propaganda.
It's not safe for no, because people made that joke. I defer to the people that were there. Kamiko Torre's been great. Drake Jackson has gotten some run. Drake Jackson is going to be a passing downs situational pass rusher at this point. Similar to what D Ford was. D Ford wasn't exactly great in the run game in any way.
No, he was not.
No, and since Samson Ebukam, I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, we'll just cut him. We can save some money.
Right.
Nah, man. Like, down the stretch, not only was he a good edge rusher, he was great against the run.
Mm-hmm.
So this defensive line has been great. I'm not worried about them at all. Again, Eric Armstead, you don't got to do anything but just show up for week 1. We don't care about that, like, at all. Like, I don't care about seeing Eric Armstead. I don't care about seeing Nick Bosa. We know what you are. Nick Bosa could take every single practice off. We don't get it. But, oh, I love that. I love Futurama with the matchups. Clamps. But for now, at this point, there's no holes in this roster. On base downs, you're going to see
we got Dr. Disrespect in the chat.
Is it really him?
Oh,
no,
my goodness,
I wish
it was. QB2.
Man.
That'd be sweet.
But
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. On base downs, you're going to see 4-3. You'll see Aziz, Greenlaw, and Warner in the linebacker crew on base downs. And best linebacker crew in the league.
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
No.
When healthy, not even close.
And then, unfortunately, in my opinion, Aziz is the one who comes off the field in nickel situations. A lot of people forget that
Greenlaw's a better guy in coverage. Or
sort of.
At least he was during, I don't know what year it was.
2019?
Maybe 2019.
Yes, sort of. So Aziz has made great plays in coverage, and I think that I don't want to get into this right now. Like, I've had this discussion because both are up for contracts. I'm a big Aziz Al-Shair guy. But what I wanted to say was Darquise Dennard in week 18, he came on the field during that time and played very well against Cooper Kupp, who many consider a top 5 wide receiver out of the slot. So no matter what, this defense has depth, no matter what it is. And a lot of people like to make fun of Dante Johnson. Dante Johnson's a fine cornerback 5, secondary 5 guy to have. There's not many people that have that. And I think you guys are implying something different when you make fun of him.
I think it's just the fact that we always end up getting to the point where we have to end up using them because we end up getting so many injuries.
Look, all right, look. I'm going to set the scene. Divisional game against the Green Bay Packers. Dante Johnson's on the outside covering Devontae Adams. And Talanoa Hufanga, who everybody's worried about in coverage, is single high. They both squeeze the route to the point that Aaron Rodgers throws that ball and it ends up far incomplete. Again, in moments when you need things, the coaching staff's going to put them in the right place. And the personnel is better than you think it is. Everybody likes to make fun of Dante Johnson because I guess there's this preconceived notion that he gets burnt all the time. Well, if you turn on the tape, I don't see him getting burnt. I see him in perfect spots. I see guys making catches that they would never make again in their life if you ran that same exact route. Dante Johnson's a guy that they trust. And there's a good reason that they trust him. Again, when you get down to cornerback 4, cornerback 5, whatever, it's usually not good, like for anybody.
Right.
But that's where Dante Johnson is. And that's the thing, is they trust him. And he's very smart. He is very smart. So I don't know if I even answered the question, but the defense is going to be fine. I'm not really worried about it too much.
Last real question for you. You saw, I'm sure you saw the video of Debo being questioned about the Rams. There is no love for the Rams, especially, was it Debo? Who is it? No, it was Jimmy Ward. Excuse me. Jimmy Ward talking about when the Niners beat the brakes and beat them a couple times this last year to beat them twice.
They didn't want to shake hands.
They didn't want to shake hands like the Pistons in the late 80s. And then as soon as they won the NFC Championship game, everybody was a great sportsman. My nephew is from a different generation. He doesn't believe in all this handshaking stuff. He thinks it's overblown and that what the Pistons did to the Bulls was no big deal. And me and him argue till the freaking cows come home on that one. Because it's just a different generation. I'm like, bro, out of just respect for a team that you went to war with 3 times in a season or even twice in a season, the physical toll it takes, people could get injured and never can play again. That right there, you should just shake the hand and be respectful. He got up after that question. I thought he was pissed. I think he was. And he pretty much said, like, there's some receipts coming and he was not happy, put it that way. And I wanted to know your take on it. Are you new school? Are you over the handshake thing? Is it no big deal to you? Or are you old school like me where like respect is huge and you don't have to sign or trade jerseys with somebody at midfield? I'm not asking you to do that. Just a simple handshake, good game, take care of yourself, and your family, see you next year kind of thing. Where do you stand on that?
I don't want to attribute these same things because there's so much emotion and physical power that goes into playing in the NFL. But
right.
I used to play my brother all the time in Madden, in NBA 2K when I was a kid, right?
Yep.
And I would literally walk out of the room and be like, yo, I want to quit. I don't care. You're beating me. And my brother would be like, nah, sit in here and take it like a man, right? So I learned take it like a man. But at the same time, when I shifted the tide and I became the better, my brother couldn't handle that portion of it.
Of course not.
It became very funny to me. My brother was the one who was yelling, oh, this game is cheating. All of a sudden, he would never do that in real life. The same things that I would yell about when I was a kid. I am 100%, and I've been competitive in basketball, baseball, whatever. Shake that man's hand.
Yeah.
That person is only doing what they're trying to do, what you're trying to do to them. I like, everybody wants to win. Nobody feels good about losing.
No.
But there's a respect and there's a certain way that you should carry yourself, right? And Michael Jordan, who I'm not a big fan of, I just like his sneakers. But
what?
No, I just like his sneakers. I'm a former Knicks fan, Aaron. Like, so it doesn't make me like, feel.
That's okay. My nephew is a Knicks fan like you.
Yeah,
but he's LeBron.
Used to be.
He's a LeBron guy.
A Knicks fan.
He's a LeBron guy though. He loves LeBron. And I'm like, Jordan's still the GOAT. No, I don't think so. And he got into this huge
No. Jordan's the GOAT. Jordan's the GOAT. Like, I don't want to hear that anymore. And this is when I knew Jordan was the GOAT. If anybody's watched The Last Dance, something that he said that was very, very impactful to me. He's like, certain men only talk shit when they're up. And he's like, the real man talks shit when it's 0-0. He's like, that's when we'll figure out who you are. He's like, everybody can talk crazy when they're up. He's like, but where you at? Like when it's 0-0. And you know what? At this point, the Rams and the 49ers is what the Seahawks and the 49ers used to be.
Yep.
That's it. Like, you dislike the Seahawks because of what they did, but they're not the rival anymore. The Arizona Cardinals rival is October, November, and December.
Yeah.
That don't have nothing to do with you. That don't have nothing to do with the 49ers. So that's why the Cardinals will never be the 49ers rival. The 49ers rival is the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm-hmm.
We invade your stadium. You don't like it. You want to sell tickets the other way. We beat you 2 times. You win the one. Cool. It's never going to go away. It's only going to be back and forth between good teams, good franchises. And you know what's funny? The Rams are here with this like complete polar opposite of how they built their team. And here are the Niners. I built this team based on draft picks, everything. We brought in one piece, which is Trent Williams. But here are the Rams. Matthew Stafford, Allen Robinson, Odell Beckham. Like, he's not there anymore. Like Von Miller, Bobby Wagner. Now at this point, Aaron Donald, they built. Like, that's fine. Jalen Ramsey, right? Like these are guys you all brought, right? It's the Rams. It's the Rams. They're your rival. So I'm good with the trash talk between the two. It's not Seattle anymore. It's for 49er fans, it's getting Seattle back for the bullshit. For 49er fans facing the Rams, it's about which one of us is going to be at the top. And that's the difference. The Rams are the rivals. There you go.
No, they're totally the rivals. And I'm glad they are. Dude, football is only great. Dude, listen, man. I lived through those 2 NFC championship games where we lost to the Dallas Cowboys. That 94 team, when we beat them, dude, I ran around outside just like Steve Young ran around Candlestick. I was so happy. And one day soon, I hope you and me and the youngins, like my nephew, get to experience that. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. But like you said with Trey, man, just do your job and don't try to get in the way. Just
don't turn it over and make those plays that are outside of the structure that Kyle puts it. And
don't think about it. Just do it. If you see a running lane and you can get 60 yards, go. I'm not a big proponent of running quarterbacks. I'm just not. But I don't think Trey is a running quarterback. I'm thinking Trey is a quarterback that can run, per se. You know what I mean? He can move. He like there's some quarterbacks where their first read is to run. They don't see one read and they go.
Talk to him, Aaron. Talk to him. No, right now.
I just think there's people automatically assume certain quarterbacks are
Jalen Hurts is a running quarterback.
Yes.
No, No, Lamar isn't. Lamar just wins. Like I'm tired of people like talking about Lamar that way.
Lamar
But
is
Trey's not like
and
that.
Lamar is a phenomenal athlete. I don't think people realize how great of an athlete he is at quarterback.
And he wins games. He's the
Yes.
reason their team wins games. He's not the quarterback of the team that won the game. He's the quarterback that won the game.
He's frustrating to watch sometimes because it's like when we played him that year in 2019, man. Oh,
you stayed up all night worrying about how we're gonna stop Lamar.
yes, I'm the same way when we played the Cardinals.
Yeah,
I get the same way. I mean, I'm like, dude, if we could just shut down that bullshit, that running shit, I hate it. But now that we have a guy that can kind of do it, I'm like, do it. As long as you don't get hurt, don't try to take on 10 tacklers and dive for the end zone and get destroyed. Like, step out of bounds. Learn how to slide, please, Trey. I love you to death. Trey, his whole demeanor, man, is so beautiful. I like the kid. Listen, I'm an old man compared to Trey Lance. His demeanor is so refreshing, and the fact that he always puts himself over the team when admitting to mistakes. That's one thing about Jimmy that always pissed me off is when they would say stuff, he would always kind of like deflect blame. And I'm like, bro, you're the quarterback. Even if you know you're not the reason that you lost the game, take that L for the team because that shows solidarity, I guess. So I don't know.
I mean,
I know it's nitpicking, but that does bother me very much.
I'll say this. The last thing that I'll probably leave you guys with, and the last thing I want everybody to understand is quarterbacks win in different ways. Don't peg one quarterback to sit in the pocket and do things. Win the game. I don't care how you win the game. Win the game. And a lot of that is why so many people are backing Jimmy Garoppolo like so heavy. But if you're the reason the team wins the game, I don't care if you win it out of the pocket, in the pocket, win the game. That's it. Just win the game. And I think that a lot of people have created buzzwords and created reasons for why they are skeptical of what Trey can do because he doesn't win from the pocket, doesn't throw the football. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I like win the game, dude. If you want to win it with your legs, win it. I don't care. And that's all that matters.
If you're 5 of 10, but you throw 3 touchdowns in those 5 attempts and we win by 3 touchdowns, then I don't really give a crap. I really don't.
No.
Real quick, Mariah, my background is made by Jesse Naylor. I asked him. Jesse's awesome. He's one of another great cogs in the YouTube community.
100%.
I love Jesse. I love Jack. I love all those guys. Even though they were arguing and yelling at each other, I know it's all out of love.
But Jesse and Jack have a good dynamic where they'll do.
It's almost like me and my It's like me and my brother. We will freaking talk each other for days, and then it'll be like, "Hey, you want to get a pizza? Sure, let's get pizza."
and that I feel is healthy. I feel
it is. You shouldn't always get along. There should be some. I always believe in creative tension. I do.
100%.
That's why 100%. I think, and this is my last thing I'll leave. If you go through your whole life and everybody likes you, you're doing something wrong.
You got a problem. You got a problem. You got a big problem. 100%.
And people say, why? Because that means you change every time you're around a different set of people to be what they need you to be. Dude, I piss a lot of people off because I'm super abrasive. Depending on if I work with somebody who's really lazy, I become a real jerk. When you're a really hardworking guy, we're like best friends. If you suck at your job and you're always leaving me to do and stuff and finish, I can be a real mean guy. So do your job.
100%.
All right, guys. Chat, thank you so much for everybody. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all your comments, Jason. I really wanted to listen to Jason talk. That's why I had him on, because he was there. He experienced things. He's been around it for the last couple of years really closely. So I really wanted to kind of tap into that. Everybody have a great rest of your night. It's about 10:30 Eastern time. I'm going to probably snack on something, then go to bed. Everybody have a great rest of your night. Take care, and we'll see you later.